Here is a story of organisational chaos and profound personal loss. The resignation of Prince Harry from Sentebale, the charity he co-founded nearly 20 years ago with Prince Seeiso of Lesotho. It isn't merely a stepping down, it's a symbolic departure from one of the last public roles that linked Prince Harry to his royal past, to Africa, to the legacy of his late mother, Princess Diana. And the statement from Harry and Seeiso was raw and sorrowful. With heavy hearts, we've resigned from our roles as patrons until further notice. Their joint letter framed the decision as one of solidarity with 5 trustees who had themselves resigned after a breakdown in trust with the charity's current chair, Dr. Sophie Chadauka. The situation, they said, had become untenable, their word, unthinkable. What has unfolded at Sentebale is, in essence, a charity boardroom drama of rare ferocity, a microcosm of many larger tensions between legacy and reform, between founders and reformers, between legal accountability and moral perception. And yes, it has all the contours of modern institutional collapse, accusations of abuse of power, of bullying, misogyny, and even misogynoir, a term denoting specific prejudice against black women. And the language is no longer coded, genteel, or brushed away with royal euphemisms. It's the lexicon of whistleblowing, litigation, and contested leadership. So, in July 2023, Dr. Chadauka, a Zimbabwean-born lawyer and business leader, was appointed chair of Sentebale. By early 2025, the trustees, including long-term ally of Prince Harry, Mark Dyer, had asked her to resign. She refused. Instead, she sued the charity. And this alone is extraordinary, a legal battle erupting within what is ostensibly a philanthropic endeavour, not a hedge fund. And the 5 trustees who resigned issued a blistering statement. They could not, they said, allow the charity to shoulder the financial burden of a lawsuit initiated by its own chair. They described it as a move of last resort to protect the charity. Prince Harry and Prince Seeiso echoed that sentiment. We are in shock that we have to do this, but we have a continued responsibility to Sentabale's beneficiaries. Meanwhile, Dr. Chadauka has categorically denied wrongdoing. In her own statement, she said, "I will not be intimidated. I must stand for something. I stand for those women who have not the ways and means." Her accusations are withering. She claims the trustees engaged in bullying and were complicit in a cover-up of poor governance and abuse of power. She characterises their push for her resignation not as prudent governance, but as a campaign fueled by prejudice and elitism. And at the heart of this appears to be a disagreement over the charity's transformation. In 2024, Sentebale announced a new agenda, pivoting from a focus on HIV and AIDS to a broader mission around youth, health, wealth and climate resilience across southern Africa. And as part of that, the charity began relocating leadership to that region. This evolution arguably raised existential questions. Should a British royal and his inner circle continue to be the controlling voice, or should leadership now reflect the geography and the demographics of those it claims to serve? If so, one might ask, is this a tragedy or a natural, if painful, succession? From an administrative perspective, the matter is now under formal review. The UK Charity Commission has confirmed it is assessing concerns. Sentabale's website has already been updated to reflect a new board. The chair remains in place. The charity claims no formal resignation from its patrons. And yet, Harry and Seeiso, their own words make it clear they are stepping back, not symbolically but substantively. The rupture is real. And make no mistake, this is more than a bureaucratic skirmish. The charity was not a vanity project for Harry, it was his soul's work. He founded Sentebale after a transformative trip to Lesotho in 2004, where he witnessed the harsh realities faced by children orphaned by AIDS. He and Prince Seeiso bonded not only over shared loss, both had lost their mothers, but over a desire to heal through action. The name Sentebale, meaning forget-me-not, was not an accident. To resign from such a cause is not simply administrative, it is, in a word, devastating. It's also politically volatile. The narrative lines are stark. On one side, a black African woman alleging institutional racism and elite misconduct. On the other, a global royal figure pledging loyalty to an old guard of trustees who incidentally are mostly male and majority white. In the cultural climate we inhabit, that contrast is combustible. but one must be careful. To sympathise with the pain of Prince Harry's decision is not to dismiss Dr. Chad Dowker's claims. Claims, she says, were serious enough to warrant an emergency High Court injunction and a report to the Charity Commission. Conversely, her use of terms like victim card in reference to Harry and CISO raises questions of tone and respect. When governance breaks down in a charity, all suffer, not just the high-profile founders, but the young people who depend on its services. So where does this leave us? I think it leaves us with a cautionary tale about the difficulty of founding organisations that outlive their founders, about the tension between legacy and reform, about celebrity and structure, and above all, about how fragile idealism can be in the face of entrenched conflict. If a charity born of grief, hope, and fraternal solidarity can disintegrate into lawsuits, public recrimination, and mutual resignation, what hope for lesser institutions? The Duke of Sussex once said Sentebale was his soul's purpose. That soul has now departed. I don't know whether a soul can be bruised, but it is. I don't know whether it can be wiser, but it is. I don't know whether a soul can be heartbroken, but it is. And as with so many other things royal, this story now is far from over.